This one is. Ripple CEO walks back threat to leave US. Ripple CEO walks back threat to leave US. Garlinghouse donated to the Biden for President campaign earlier this year, according to Federal Election Commission records. Last year, he donated to the Kamala Harris for the People campaign when she was a presidential candidate. Harris later dropped out of that race but is now the vice president-elect and will take office with Biden.
So, I didn't mean for him to start all the way over here, but that's okay. Yeah, so apparently Garlinghouse went ahead and donated to the Kamala Harris Fund. Yeah, let's continue.
Ripple was the second company in the blockchain industry to obtain the infamously stringent BIT license from New York State. The firm's CEO in those days, Chris Larsen, eschewed the then fashionable term disruptor and stressed that unlike Bitcoin's early adopters, Ripple aimed to assist, not usurp, regulated institutions. Lately, the San Francisco-based company's leaders have been notably less diplomatic. Current CEO Garlinghouse and Larsen, now executive chairman, have publicly threatened to move Ripple's headquarters out of the US, citing the lack of regulatory clarity, particularly from the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. The company recently announced it opened a regional office in Dubai. Ripple is still a far cry from, say, Binance, the global cryptocurrency exchange that has hopped from one jurisdiction to another and has refused to even say where exactly it is headquartered. While Ripple has long insisted it did not create XRP, it is the largest holder of the cryptocurrency and has relied heavily on selling the asset.
Okay, so that one was a very important thing. I don't like how this is going out of order right now, so I apologize. It's making it hard for me to follow along as I'm scrolling. But on that particular note, XRP has been they say they haven't created. Did he say they didn't create it on this one? I lost it, but yeah, because it's not in order. Ripple made XRP, but they didn't make XRP. Technically, they didn't make XRP. What ended up happening is the people who founded Ripple created XRP before they founded Ripple, and then so they created it alone, and then later on they formed another company called Ripple. So technically Ripple did not create it, but the people involved at Ripple created it. Misleading, but yeah.
Ripple wants to embrace regulation. And when regulation is clear and consistently applied, it does result in a predictable outcome, the company's general counsel, Stu Alderete, told CoinDesk in a recent phone interview. Other jurisdictions made pretty significant advances, Alderete said, denying that a relocation would be regulatory arbitrage, the corporate practice of taking advantage of differing regimes. In other jurisdictions, there is a high degree of comfort that the regulator won't say, XRP is a security one day, he explained. The company's reasons to consider moving out are general frustration, and the maturity of other jurisdictions parading that regulation clarity. Change of tone?
So, basically, people think that XRP is a security, but it is not a security. Or at least that's what they think, but people think that it might be considered one. Eventually, the SEC hasn't said anything yet on it. So the whole idea of moving out of the U.S. was simply so that they could go ahead and be like, hey, if this country isn't going to want to support the regulation, we'll go to a country that will support it. Not really going to hinder them that much.
It would be irresponsible not to explore those opportunities. Ripple hasn't committed to moving out of the US definitively. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Ripple will stay headquartered in the US. Alderete indicated Ripple would remain compliant with US regulations and likely continue doing business in the country. The SEC's future focus is itself unclear. Current Chairman Jay Clayton intends to step down. For Bitcoin, the goal was to create a decentralized currency and ledger, independent from any government or central operator. For Ripple, the goal was to create a decentralized ledger that could work with and improve the foundation of today's payment systems, Larsen said in a 2015 interview with fintech maven Chris Skinner. During that era, the main category of regulation that preoccupied digital currency businesses was the kind designed to prevent money laundering, sanctions violations and terrorism financing. Ripple introduced a feature that allows financial institutions to stop certain transactions on its network.
So they are trying to be as very regulatory compliant as they can. In fact, trying to have things like anti-money laundering systems implemented to make it very lucrative for the government to go ahead and say, yeah, we approve you.
XRP, the network's native currency, could not be frozen, but dollars or euros issued by a bank on the ledger could, allowing Ripple's corporate users, then referred to as gateways, to cooperate with law enforcement requests. The individual freeze is intended primarily for complying with regulatory requirements, the company said in a notice at the time. It also allows gateways to freeze individual account issuances in order to investigate suspicious activity. These features allow gateways to better operate in compliance of laws and regulations. He indicated the prolonged but fruitless efforts to get federal regulators on the firm's side seem to have exhausted the patience of Ripple's executives as the company eyes a potential initial public offering, IPO. The U.S. Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, fined the company $700,000 for failing in its early days to register as a money services business, MSB, and to implement an anti-money laundering program.
So because of that, that's the reason why they're trying to get more and more compliant with things. They really want this thing to take off. They really want other businesses to participate with what they have to provide as a service. But a lot of companies are uncertain on whether or not they would want to participate if there's no regulatory certainty for them. So, for example, PayPal said that they don't want to put XRP on as one of the supporting currencies just because they don't know what the future might hold.
Regulatory concerns. More recently, following the initial coin offering, IPO, boom of 2017, an additional type of regulation has come into play for the crypto markets, securities laws. And this area has proven tricky to navigate for Ripple. In 2018, a group of investors sued Ripple, alleging the company's periodic sales of XRP were unregistered issuances of securities. In October, Judge Phyllis J. Hamilton dismissed most of the plaintiffs' claims but left 3, on which the hearings will now proceed. In the meantime, the SEC was becoming more aggressive in pursuing companies that sold tokens through ICOs. Ripple did not conduct an ICO, but founders David Schwartz, Jed McKellar and Arthur Brito gifted 80 billion XRP to the company, which then sold it to users. In previous years, Ripple sold XRP in 2 parallel ways, programmatically and over-the-counter, OTC. While the programmatic sales were paused in 2019, the OTC sales went on. According to the XRP markets reports published quarterly by Ripple, during 2020, the company has sold a little more than $70 million worth of XRP. Moving out of the US won't get Ripple out of the US jurisdiction, Alderete said, and the lawsuit would still proceed. Crypto regulation here in the US is a guessing game, in part as evidenced by the recent Department of Justice report which cites 8 different groups with regulatory oversight in the US. Some view crypto as a currency, some view crypto as a commodity, some view crypto as property and some view crypto as a security. We are not looking to avoid the rules. We just want to operate in a jurisdiction where the rules are clear, the spokesperson said. Ripple used to position itself as the regulator-friendly crypto firm. Ripple is also active on the buy side. The company is regularly purchasing XRP to support healthy markets. Ripple generates revenue from multiple sources, but as a private company we don't break out the details, Ripple spokesperson wrote to CoinDesk. That said, Ripple does software enterprise sales, no different than Oracle or Salesforce. Ripple also has not sold XRP programmatically for over a year, which is outlined in our quarterly markets reports. Hence, resolving XRP's legal status is crucial for the company. Ripple put a lot of money in their regulatory work, a source familiar with Ripple's business told CoinDesk. At the very minimum, they tried every means to push the SEC to issue the statement that XRP should not be regarded as a security. But relocation might spare Ripple some future struggles. They probably debated and/or probed the likelihood of getting a registration statement approved by the SEC, Shapiro said. but if it seemed like the SEC would leverage the registration process to give them a hard time about XRP or other aspects of their business, then they might have decided to try accessing the public capital markets abroad instead. Moving out is not an effort to avoid the jurisdiction of the US. We are a global company, but we will always have jurisdiction of the US, Alderete said. He declined to say if Ripple has considered launching an IPO overseas.
Alright, I don't know if he has more to say, but I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna just end it there. After that, basically, the thing that I started at the beginning was the most interesting part for this. Was it Biden? So, we know that Biden wants to participate in the global reset, and it's very interesting that he donated to Biden for that, and the Kamala Harris. And they're going to be very big on that Great Reset, which is scary. I don't know what to think about it, to be honest. I mean, we'll talk more about that in our real main segment, but at this particular thing here, it's just they decided that okay, we're not going to go out of the U.S. Not yet. Instead, we're going to sit here and wait, and because we know that the Biden team is cozy up with the Great Reset, we might actually stick around and stay here. Judy Sheldon is somebody that we're waiting for to come into the Federal Reserve, and currently, the game of politics, the political theater, they're like, well, we don't want Judy Shelton because we don't know how she stands on the gold. Like she wants to do a gold standard again, and but they're probably gonna sneak her in because look at this. This is all according to their plan, the globalist plan. It's crazy.
Following up, 95% of Ripple's customers are not from the US.